those guys are so happy that they played as well as they played. As we got on into it, they stayed true to their really their coaching and their principles, and they just kept going, and then obviously it started working for them, falling for them. But I will tell you this, I was sure gnawing fingernails as we got into the end of that third quarter. But shows you what turnovers and what some big plays can do for you.
The takeaway from the defense, just how big part of the way that you guys finished this game was the defense setting the tone?
Well, I think so. I give Indianapolis some credit there in the first 2 or 3 quarters. They were able to neutralize our defense a little bit there too. And we all were on the edge of our seat. But I thought we had flashes. That second drive we made was a thing of beauty. I thought it, frankly, gave everybody a good feeling about what we could do in the ball game, but give them credit. They were hard to put the lid on, but really, I will say that a game like that means so much to our players, because they know if they'll keep hustling, keep trying, keep looking for that ball, and it'll come your way.
Zeke didn't start for the first time in his career. Can you talk about the decision behind that?
Yeah, I think there was a little issue that he had with his coach, and some discipline issues that were being tardy for a meeting or a phone going off or something serious relative to Zeke. But I won't get into that. But I'm not giving out that punishment. I'd be a lot more lenient than that.
Right.
What are your thoughts on Dak passing both Roger and Danny White tonight on all-time touchdown passes?
Well, when I think of what Roger and Danny, really, the successor to Roger, and their careers, and all that I remember about it as a fan, as well as my early years with the Cowboys, hearing about their accomplishment, I think it's quite a statement for him to have done that in really a relatively short period of time that he's been our quarterback. I think it says a lot about his future. And when I look at Dak, I have to, and I see years of having Dak get better, meet the challenges, have some of the if you will, some of the personnel that we've got out there now. You see it coming for him. You see them coordinating. I was so pleased. I thought our passing game, just letting our receivers showcase their talent, namely Lamb. But really, if you look at the whole show there, the Pollard and what we've got coming out of the backfield and our tight ends, I think you can see what we've got at receiver.
You brought up receiver, though.
Can you walk us through what tomorrow looks like for OBJ when he gets to Dallas?
Yeah, we'll let each stage of him being here. He's got a busy day. I'm going to have a busy day in and around parts of it, and we'll have probably by the end of the day, we'll have a good feel where we are.
Do you know what time he's getting here?
I've got his schedule in, and I'm not for sure if he's in tonight late or if he's coming in early tomorrow.
What kind of physical would y'all be doing? Will you be able to work him out? Can you just talk about that for just to find out about that?
We'll work it and get satisfied. I heard somebody say today those old pointed fingers sticking in those joints can make you jump, all of that kind of stuff. So I would know that he would expect a good physical look.
So he will actually get a workout in for you guys?
Well, again, I'm not going to get ahead of tomorrow, and we'll see what we're doing. But we want to certainly see something that gives us every opportunity to have a big year this year with him.
Would you be comfortable signing someone like that without actually seeing him do something out on the practice field?
Whether I'm comfortable or not, now I realize your question. And so that says, would you do something like that if you're comfortable? I'd probably do something uncomfortable with him.
You would do something uncomfortable.
I could possibly do something uncomfortable with him.
I know you keep
I'm
talking
going to have to
yeah,
because he's coming back from an injury.
Yeah. So you keep talking about you need him this year, but he wants a multi-year deal. Are you comfortable doing a multi-year deal?
Again, that's way ahead of where we are on the basic parts of the agreement. We want to sit down and see if we can go to first base and go from there.
Why are you willing to do something that might be uncomfortable for him?
I think that that's kind of usually my little tester of just a when you're really in that stretch out area. We all know that to evaluate the future of a ball player, of a player, is only the man up above really understands what's going to happen and where it's going to go. On the other hand, I've seen the healthiest of players not get the snaps you thought they were going to get in. So this is not widows' retirement funds we're working with here. This has got a lot of risk to it when you're basically making agreements with
Jerry, why is
players in the NFL.
Why is this the best place for OBJ given the teams that he's visiting with? Why is this the best situation for him in your mind?
Well, I think we've got a quarterback that fits really could make some music with him, the quarterback. I think we've got an offensive line that would give the quarterback time to make some music with him. And then I think we've got seriously alternative places for the quarterback to go that he would help open it up that would give us more offense. So if his skills are skills that we've come to associate with his name, if he's got some of that, that would help us.
How good does it feel to be pondering making a move like this when you got it going good? Usually when you make a move like this, things are not good, but you got a 3-game winning streak, you're scoring more points than anybody since Dak Prescott came back, and you still have an opportunity to add to that.
That's something that will be heavy on my mind.
Jerry, Melissa Stark reported that Tyron Smith will return to practice next week.
Just talked to him, and he was smiling from ear to ear. He had a good week this week. I can't think of any single thing that could help a football team more than have Tyron Smith come in healthy at left tackle. I really can't. So right there is the biggest lift that you could draw up for the Dallas Cowboys, without exception. And we've got that. While he's been getting here, we're in relatively great shape at 8-3 and 9-3. And we're in relatively great shape, and here we've got a potentially healthy Tyron Smith. That will add to the entire group of offensive linemen and give us not only flex, but give us strength down through there. You saw Peters get 7-8 snaps tonight. And so when you look at what Tyler does to our depth as well as to our skill level in that offensive line, and you add that to the level that we're starting to play with our skill players, now that's a lift. And that would be, frankly, more impactful than anything that I could do with Beckham or anybody. That is going to be a lift.
So
How soon, Jerry?
You'll start his window this week?
What?
You'll start his 21-day window this week?
Yes, but keep in mind a 21-day window doesn't mean he can't be out there next weekend.
Right.
Jerry, what do you think would come of having Odell meet with Dak until you kind of meet on Tuesday?
I think that any of it is a positive. Those guys fire me up. You know what he's going to see with Dak, and what a good feeling that'd be to have him as a teammate. And I would say that about all of the people that he might want to meet. And he has some personality that is conducive to team chemistry. Odell does. So I think talking and meeting with as many people as we can. We just got to get down to a contract, an amount, and health. there's no question in my mind that under the right circumstances, he could help us.
Going back to the health, I know you're a fan of ambiguity from time to time, but if you're not able to actually see him in action, what's going to make you feel at least a little comfortable about an uncomfortable decision if he isn't physically working out in front
I'll
of you?
know it when I feel it. I'll know it. I'll know it. And it really will come down to something like that. And I don't know how to explain that, but and I've missed with that feeling before.
Big investment.
But it's also worked. And I think the promise of it might working, in other words, the willingness to take the risk, can be worth the money or can be worth the commitment. The promise of it working.
Could you have a clause
We
in there to
all
protect the
realize that no, there's going to be some. There's going to have to be some on everybody's part here. Some not ambiguity. There's just going to have to be some element of understanding. We don't know what might happen, and obviously we shouldn't do anything that would really knock a hole in our ship. We should not do that. And he certainly shouldn't knock a hole in his ship either.
Jerry, do you think that one of the benefits of potentially signing Odell is just the message you're sending to this team about how committed you are to going all the way?
I normally would say that anytime you can create an affirmative, hard commitment, a belief, I think that's good stuff, yes. And in a business that has a lot of psychology to it, I think that's the case. I don't think it's necessary for us to have success with our team and in the playoff, but it would be a positive. I want this to work. I want it to work. That means I'm going to be trying to make it work. So I'm going to be looking for reasons to do, not reasons not to do.
Before this year, Jerry, for a lot of years the Cowboys had been strong one season and not strong the next, and it was kind of back and forth. Why do you think y'all are seeing success 2 years in a row, at least in the regular season?
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. That question was why do I think we're seeing maybe 2 years of success, Mike McCarthy. I think Mike is really doing an outstanding job. I think he's done, he's held steady when the ship was wavering, and he's held steady. The player knows he's steady. I like his style as coach, and I like the way that our assistant coaches, our coordinators especially, are really working with these players. But I think we've got a really good team. We do have a good team. As you saw out there tonight in the first 2 quarters, this good team can get stopped, or we can have we really can take a stutter step. And I think we did that. But we always hear that a good team can come on back from that and play better. We saw a little of that tonight. We couldn't get it done against Green Bay. That's telling. But again, I think the journey here is very important. It's and I wouldn't rule us out as far as what we might be able to do in our division. That's not over yet.